It's a peaceful Friday afternoon here in Happy Valley, but in a few short hours, my kitchen's going to be anything but quiet. Company's coming. I've got 3 different couples coming from 3 different locations, and they're all arriving at different times. Today, I'm going to cook a one-pot meal that everyone's just going to love, no matter what time they arrive. Let's get started. For today's casual Friday dinner, I'm making my easy Creole jambalaya, and I've started with 2 pounds of medium shrimp and 2 pounds of bay scallops in a big saute pan with 4 tablespoons of EVOO. And my shrimp and scallops have been simmering for about 3 or 4 minutes, and they're about 3/4 of the way cooked through, and that's exactly where I want them. I'm going to turn my heat off, and I'm going to transfer all of my seafood to a big mixing bowl, and I'm leaving all of these wonderful seafood juices in the bottom of the pan. This smells just fabulous. And while I'm doing this, I can get started by telling you the next thing we're going to add to these wonderful seafood juices is the hallmark Holy Trinity. And those vegetables are onions, celery, and green peppers. If you were in France, and France has a big influence on Cajun and Creole cookery, you'd be expecting onions, celery, and carrots. So my seafood's just about in the pan, and I'm using my Asian spider to help me along here to make it move a little faster for the camera. Now I'm going to add about 4 cups or 1.5 pounds of diced onion. About 2 cups of celery, 2 cups of green bell pepper. Now this makes it the Holy Trinity, but I like red bell pepper too, so I'm adding the same amount of red bell pepper as green bell pepper. Now I'm going to turn this back, get it to a simmer, turn the heat back on, get it to a simmer, and I'm going to let this saute for about 3 to 5 minutes until these vegetables are about 3/4 of the way cooked, and I'm going to transfer them to the seafood, into my seafood as soon as they're finished. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to clean out my pan and come back and finish my rice. My pan is clean, and I melted a stick of butter in the bottom of it and added 2 cups of rice. Now what I've been doing is a trick that a lot of good chefs and cooks know. I've browned my rice in this butter till it's nice and golden. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 cups of liquid. What I'm using today are 2 cups of white wine and all of the juice from 4 cans of stewed tomatoes. The key here is total 4 cups of water or liquid. Now I'm going to carefully add this to the pan, and it's going to steam up, folks, so keep your hands and face away from this. I'm going to add celery, red pepper, and spices, which are all listed on my blog, and the tomatoes from 4 cans of stewed tomatoes. And that's what kind of makes Cajun and Creole different. Everybody thinks that one is spicier than the other, but the truth be told, they use the same kind of spices. But one is city food and one is country food. And the country food is tomato-based, and the city food, you'll tend to see a lot of butter and cream and eggs used. So today, we're making Creole seafood jambalaya. And I'm going to bring this to a simmer and let it go for about 15 or 20 minutes till it thickens up. Then I'm going to add my seafood, and it's time to eat. Oh, my rice is totally thickened. Just look at that. And I'm adding my seafood. I'm using a slotted spoon because I don't want to add too many more juices. And when all of this seafood is added, I'm going to stir this mixture together, and I'm going to simmer it for 2 or 3 more minutes, and then it's time to eat. This is a meal that anyone would want to sit down to after a long, hard drive. I think I'm just going to enjoy a glass of wine and wait for my guests to arrive. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.